This documentary is created by Charlie Smith and Claire Hensley. We will be talking about John Singleton Copley and his fight for the arts.
Copley was born on July 3rd, 1738 and died on September 9th, 1815.
He was alive for 77 years. That's pretty good for people in the old days.
His parents were Richard Copley and Mary Singleton, poor Irish immigrants.
Copley, after his dad died, married Peter Pelham. Peter Pelham was a successful London merchant.
Copley picked up his stepfather's art.
As a teen, Copley wanted to be a history painter.
Copley focused his talents on likenesses.
In colonial Boston, Copley's community was thriving in art. In the mid-1750s, Robert Feake and John Simbert had already died. In 1757, Thomas Ansley, later repeated by Quebec, said that Copley should go paint in Canada.
Copley replied, "I should receive singular pleasure in accepting, if my business was anyways slack. But it is so far otherwise that I have a lar. Me these 12 months if I did not begin any others."
Then, in 1768, Copley painted a portrait in Boston of Miles Cooper, the president of King's College.
He then went on to paint 37 paintings in New York between June 1771 and January 1772.
One of the paintings that he painted in this time was a portrait of Margaret Kemble Gage.
Another one of the paintings he painted in this time was Dorothy Quincy Hancock.
He also painted in this time Samuel Adams.
One of Copley's most famous paintings was Mr. and Mrs. Ralph Izard, which he painted in 1775. John Singleton Copley's admissions in Europe went beyond portraiture. He was eager to make success in more high-regarded sphere of historical painting. In his first important work in this genre, Copley became one of the great artists of the 19th century Romantic art. He was elected to the Royal College Academy in 1779. His English paintings lacked the extraordinary velocity and penetrating realism of his Boston portraits. Here is a letter wrote by John Singleton Copley to John Adams on October 15th, 1786.
Quote unquote. "Thank you, dear sir, I thank you for the loan of the memoirs of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. They have afforded me much entertainment, particularly those written by Governor Bowdoin on the structure of the heavens and on land. I feel myself happy that my countrymen are inspired with a thirst after knowledge, and to see them emulating the nations of Europe in the cultivation of the arts and sciences. As you have done me the honor to desire my opinion of the plates in this work, I will give to you without reserve. I think them well engraved, much better than I should have expected, as there was no person that knew much of that art in the state of Massachusetts when I left it. But there is a total want of the knowledge of perspective in every part of them. It is by this art that all objects are truly represented just as they appear to the eye, be they ever so complex, and none of the imitative arts are capable of perfection but this, because it is the only one that is wholly within the sphere of mathematical science. All objects diminish as they recede from the eye and finally lose themselves in a point in the horizon, called the point of sight. This point is always opposite to the spectator and on level with his eye, but as example is always better than percept. I herewith send to you a drawing of a pavement with 8 square pillars set in 2 rows and at equal distances from each other, with process of drawing them explained by the dotted lines.
Although his physical and mental health declined in his later years, he continued to paint with considerable success until the last few months of his life.